I do think it's a very strong early warning of an inflection point to come. That this notion of inequality, workers' rights, people being left behind, it is at some point going to crystallize into something. I don't know what it is yet, but you know, you can feel it happening. And I would want to be thinking about when it does, if it does, what might it look like, how would it affect my business? And it's very interesting, and this is global, right? So this reporter was saying to me, well, you know, do you think it would make a difference to have a worker on the board? And I said, of course it does. Go look at Germany. They have workers' councils, and workers' councils have real teeth. They're not, you know, they're not just there for window dressing. They actually force the board to take into consideration what effect is this going to have on our communities, what effect is this going to have on our people, what effect is it going to have. And there's much more of a sense in those companies, and Scott, I'd love you to weigh in on this, of we're all in this together, right? It's not like management is a class apart and the workers are fungible, poor substitutes for robots. I mean, that's not what we have. And if you look at German industry, they really take advantage of that. So I don't know if you've had any observations. You worked there a while, didn't you?
Yeah, in the U.S. it's hard for us to see that.
Yeah.
We've kind of set aside this false dichotomy between labor and management.
Right.
They've worked very hard to weld the two back together, and it's interesting to see it in action, because you're right, real decisions are made on behalf of those here that really don't have a voice in the system.
Exactly.
So.
Here they don't. They don't at all. And it's, I mean, I've been digging into this, and I won't get up on my soapbox, but the financialization of our economy has actually gotten to such a point where I believe it's really undermining future economic growth. I mean, we are not making the investments we need to be making in capabilities, in core technologies, in things like Kraft Heinz, right, as a poster child for this way of thinking. We're just not making those kind of investments. And there was a headline in Business Week, I think last week, of an economist who had actually studied the wealth gap. And the numbers, I have to go back and look at it, but the numbers are something like the top 1% actually controls something like 20% of the wealth in this country. I mean, we're talking very small numbers of people with completely outsized incomes. We have forgotten God did not come down and say, this is the system thou shalt have. We created this, and it can be uncreated. And it can be uncreated, to me, in a constructive, positive, peaceful, fair way, or it can be uncreated in a way that is, you know, 1930s Europe. And I really think we need to be giving that some thought.